Hey guys, so we're back with a brand new video. So I'm going to show you guys how to create a view queue command. And this is going to be pretty awesome. It's going to show you the queues with a paginator. So let me just demonstrate this real quick. So let's just have our bot join the channel. Is our bot even on? Okay, so my bot's going to log in just a sec. Okay, so let's have the bot join. Let's search for some songs. So I'm going to do queue all. So I'm going to queue every single song. And let's just give a thumbs up. So it's going to start playing music. Okay, I have it muted. But now, if I do view queue, it's going to show the current page. It's going to basically give you the current song that's being played, and it's going to give you the URL. So if I copy the link, it's going to give you the YouTube link, as you can see over here in the thumbnail. And then it's going to also give you all of these other links that are, it's going to give you all the other songs that are currently in the queue. And we have this little paginator too, but right now it doesn't work because we're only on the first page right now. Right, we're only on the first page because we only have 10 songs. It's only going to display 10 songs per page, so you can increase it if you want. But we're going to do another search. Let's do the weekend. Okay, and now let's just do a queue all, and let's just confirm. So now if we view the queue, you're going to see current page 1 of 2. If I go forward, it's going to display all these other links. Okay, and it's going to say current song. If I go backwards, it's going to do the same thing, go forwards, etc. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get right to the implementation. All right, so the very first thing that we need to do, like every other tutorial, is we need to go and create the command file. So we're going to call this viewqueue.js. You can label it whatever you want, doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to copy the template and just change this to viewqueue command. And then inside the first parameter, when we pass in, or the first argument for superclass constructor, we're going to pass in viewQueue, and that's it. Okay, so this command is going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to need to check to see if the player actually exists. So we're going to reference client.music.players.get message.guild.id. So this is going to get us the player. Okay, and we're going to check to see if the player exists by just checking if player is a truthy value. Now, if it's a truthy value, that means that the player actually exists. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to need to keep track of the pages. Okay, because right now we need a way to keep track of the pages. So we're going to create a variable. We're going to declare a variable called current page, and this is going to be a non-constant because we're going to be incrementing this. And what we need to do next is we need to actually generate the embed messages. So this is probably going to be a little bit tricky, but I'm going to try my best to explain through every single little thing. So I want to display only 10 songs at a time per page. So we're going to create a function called generate queue embed. This is going to take in the queue. So up over here, we're going to need to call this embed, or this function, and it's going to return an array of embed messages. So I'll show you in just one sec. We're going to pass in player.queue. Okay, because the player instance itself, right, this has a property called queue. And the queue is an array, and it has all of the tracks that are in the queue. So we're going to pass in player.queue down into this function over here. And inside this function, what we're going to do is we're going to declare a variable called embeds. And we're going to return this array. This array is going to be an array of embeds. Okay, now since I want every single page to only have 10 links or 10 songs in the to display, I'm going to go ahead and declare a variable called k, and we're going to set this to 10, and I'm going to create a for loop. So let I equals 0, I is less than q.length, and then we're going to increment by 10 each time. Okay, normally you're probably used to incrementing by 1, but this time we're incrementing by 10. Okay, the reason why is because what we want to do is we want to get the first 10, or we want to get 10 songs, set that as the description of the embed, push it to the embeds array. Okay, and then once we've gotten the first 10 songs, we're going to get the rest of the songs. So let's say there's 50 songs, we're going to get all the songs from 0 to 10, or 0 up to 10 in the queue. Okay, then we're going to push it into its new, we're going to create an embed, and we're going to push it to this embeds array. And then we're going to get all the songs from 10 all the way up to 20. And then from 20 all the way up to 30. It's a little bit confusing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and declare a variable called current. And actually I'm going to do const current equals q.slice. So I'm going to slice from I to k. So in the first iteration, it's going to slice from 0 up to 10. So this should give us only 10 songs, just like you see right over here. So now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and create a new variable called j. I'm going to set this to I. Okay, and then we're going to increment k by 10. Okay, k is basically going to keep track of the number that we're going to be slicing up to. It's going to be different after every single iteration. And now I'm going to go ahead and declare a variable called info, and I'm going to do current.map. And so now we're mapping through all the tracks inside the current array, right? Remember, we're slicing the queue, which is an array. We're slicing from 0 up to 10. So this is going to give us 10 tracks, and we're going to map every single track. And what I want to do is I want to display it like how I'm displaying it over here. And to do that, we're going to use string interpolation. So we're going to first increment j using prefix operator, have the closing parentheses to show what number it is. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some markdown. So you can actually use markdown inside embed messages. So to display the title of the song or the title of the video with the URL, just like linked over here, we can do so by using brackets. And we're going to have the title of the song printed out over here or displayed inside these brackets. And then outside the brackets, we're going to have parentheses. We're going to have track.uri to link the URL so they can actually click on it. And in the end, we're going to just join everything with a new line character because this is a string. Okay. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new embed. So const embed equals new message embed. So we have to import this. So let's import message embed. All right. And we're just going to set the description. And the way I want it is I want to show the current song on all pages. So current song. So we're just highlighting it with the bold font. So asterisk, asterisk. And then we're going to do current song. And we're going to do q add subscript 0.title. So that's going to get us the current song that's being played. Okay. And then we're just going to provide the URL. So q.uri. All right. And then close the bold. And let me just fix that real quick. And then new line character. So that itself should be okay. Okay, now we're just going to do embeds.push. Embed. So all you need to know with this function is that it's just going to dynamically create our embed messages where in every single embed it's going to have 10 links. 10 of the, like every 10 songs. Okay, and it's going to have those 10 links. Now if I return embeds over here, it's going to be stored inside this variable up here. So we're calling generate queue embed, passing in player.queue. We're dynamically creating our embed messages, and then we're returning it and storing this array. Okay, so now watch this. If I go ahead and let me just show you guys how this works right now. So let me just send embeds subscript 0, because remember this is an array. If I do console log embeds.length, it's going to say 1. So let me unmute my bot. So let's do search. Okay, so now we're just going to do queue_all. Okay, and let's just give it a thumbs up. So we've queued every single song. Let me just, so you can see right over here, we've queued every single song. Okay, and now if I do view queue, it's going to send this, but it's not sending the it's not sending the actual embed messages. Oh, wait, I forgot one thing. I apologize. Oh, wait, I forgot to do one last thing. So we forgot to attach the info, or we forgot to, place in the info. So let's do that down here. So let's go ahead right down over here. Can't believe I forgot that. Okay, so now this should work just fine. Let's try this again. So let's have the bot join. Let me make sure my bot's on. Okay, so the bot's on. Search that. It's saying no tracks were found. I don't know why it always says that. Search Joji. Okay, that was a misspell, but let's just queue all. Okay, so now view queue. There we go. There we go. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. All right. Perfect. So now what we want to do next is we want to actually set up the paginator. So we can allow the users to navigate between, each page. Because obviously you don't want to display every single little thing. Because if you have, like, let's say 1,000 songs in the queue, you can't display every single one of those songs in just one embed. Because there's a certain limit for characters. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and first react to the message. So right over here, we're going to do const qembed equals await message.channel.send. So we're going to send the message current page, and then we're going to do current page plus 1 because right now current page is 0, and we're going to do embeds.length. So we're going to go ahead and say 1 out of the length of the array. So if there are 3 embeds, that means there are 3 pages. So it's going to be 1 out of 3. And then we're going to send the embed by doing embeds current page. There we go. Okay, awesome. So now we just need to react to this message that the bot is going to send. Okay, so we're going to just do awaits q embed react. So this is going to react to the message that has the embeds. So we're going to get the emojis. So I'm going to do arrow right. So to get the emoji, you just do backslash and then the colon, name of the emoji colon. And that's going to get you the Unicode. So I'm going to do arrow left as well. So I'm going to react with arrow left first and then arrow right. Alright, so that's going to give the reactions. And now, if I go ahead and let me just test this out, like I said, I'm going to keep testing this just to show you guys. Search GOG, Q all, give it a thumbs up. Now playing, and so now it's going to play. Let me mute it. Okay, now if I do view queue, you're going to see it's going to display all the songs in the queue currently, and we can react to these, but obviously it's not doing anything right now, so we have to go ahead and implement the reaction part. So what we're going to need is we're going to use a reaction collector. So we're going to do const collector equals q embed. So we're creating a reaction collector on this q embed message. Okay, so we're going to do create reaction collector. So we're going to invoke this method on the message. Okay, and this is going to take in a filter. We're not going to take in a max. Okay, we're not going to take in any filter or not filter options, any reaction collector options or collector reaction options. We're just going to take in a filter. So let's do const filter, takes in the reaction in the user, and we're going to just pass in an array of our emojis that they can react with. Okay, and then we're just going to check to see if includes reaction.emoji.name. So this checks to see if they are actually reacting with the correct emoji. And we also want to make sure that the author who invoked the command is the same person that is reacting, that is trying to, go to the next page. So we're going to do that check. Okay. And now we're pretty much done right over here. We're going to now listen to the collector or the collect event. And this takes in 2 parameters for the callback function, reaction, and user. Okay. And inside here, what we need to do is we basically need to check what the emoji is. So we're going to check to see if reaction.emoji.name is equal to, let's do forward arrow or right arrow. Now, if it's equal to the right arrow, that means they're trying to skip to the next page. So what we need to do is we need to check to see if current page is less than embeds.length minus 1. Okay. So this ensures that if we are actually, at a page that is not the end, then only we're going to increment current page by 1. And then we're going to edit the message. So qembed.edit. And we're going to do current page. And then we're going to just do current page. So the same thing up there. We're going to add 1. Okay, and then we're going to embeds.length right over here. And then we are going to reference embed. So the embed array over here, the array of embed messages, right over here, we're going to reference that. And we're going to pass in current page. So let's say, for example, if the current page right now is 0, well, technically the current page is 1. But if it's 0, what we're doing is we're checking to see if 0 is less than embeds.length minus 1. Okay, so the length of the array right now is 1, since we only have 1 page. So this is not going to increment. But let's say if there are 2 embeds, this is going to be true. 0 is less than embeds.length minus 1. So that means 0 is less than 1. So then we're going to increment, and then we're going to edit the message. Okay, so now if I do else if, we're going to check to see if the emoji.name is equal to the left arrow. And if that's true, we're going to check inside to see if current page is not equal to 0. So we're not at the front. Okay. And if that's true, if it's not equal to 0, that means we're currently at like page 1. Okay. Well, page 1 is technically page 2 because remember, we are trying to account for the off by 1 error because we're dealing with arrays. Okay. Obviously, it doesn't make sense to say page 0. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and decrement by 1. And we're going to edit the message. And we're going to display current page. And we're going to do current page plus 1. So that's going to say 1. And then embeds.length. And then we're just going to reference embeds current page. All right, so I know a lot has been going on so far, but let's just take let's just take a step back and try to understand what's going on. Okay, so right now the first message that's sent is right over here, current page. So current page plus 1, so that's 1 out of embeds.length. So if embeds is 7, that means we're at page 1 out of 7. And then we are sending the embed at position 0. Okay, because current page is 0. We're not adding anything to current page, only over here just to display just to modify the output. Now, right inside here, okay, let's say for example, if there are 2 embeds, for example. Okay, current page is currently 0, which means we're at the first page. We're checking to see if 0 is less than 2 minus 1. So 0 is less than 1. Okay, so if that's true, that means current page, we're going to increment by 1. And over here, since current page is currently 0, okay, well, current page is currently 1, sorry. So we are already at page number 1, but we need to go to the next page. So we're adding 1 over here, and we're saying out of embeds.length. Okay, so that's going to be 2 out of 2, and then we're going to display current page, which is going to be embeds at subscript 1. Okay, so over here, this is saying 2 out of 2, but here we're displaying the second embed, which is at embeds subscript 1. Okay, remember arrays are 0 indexed. And now, let's say if we reacted with the forward arrow or the right arrow, and then we reacted with the left arrow. So current page is currently, the value of current page is currently 1. So since 1 is not equal to 0, we're going to decrement, which means that we're going to go backwards. So we're decrementing current page by 1. So current page is now 0. And over here, we're just adding 1 to current page. So that's going to be 1 out of 2. And then embeds at subscript 0. That's the embed that we are displaying. So let's actually test this out. So let's join. All right, so now let's queue and let's just search some other songs. So right now it is playing, but let's just search The Weeknd. Okay, let's queue all. Let's confirm. So now if I do view queue, it's going to say from 1 to 10. And on the next page, 11 to 20. And if I go backwards, it seems like we have an issue right over here. Are we actually editing the array or the embed properly? Let me double check. Embeds at current page. Okay, good. So incrementing over here. Oh, wait, I messed up. Sorry about that. This else if case needs to be outside over here. Sorry about that. Apologies. So just quickly copy, because we had this nested inside here. That's not what we want. We need this. We had this inside here. We need this outside over here. So quickly just fix that. Okay. So now let's try this again. So let's have the bot join, search Joji, queue all, and let's just confirm. Search The Weeknd, queue all. Okay, good. And if I do view queue, it's going to say page 1 out of 2. So we're going forward once, we're going backward once, going forward, and then going backwards. That's pretty much it. And yeah, of course, if you wanted to add an extra emoji to allow the user to delete the embed and stop the collector, we can just simply get the X emoji or whatever emoji you want that corresponds to, canceling this paginator. So we're going to do await q embed react, paste that in there, and we can just check right over here. And then inside over here, if we check if reaction, or we can do else right over here. And then we can just simply do collector.stop. So that should stop the collector. So I'll just do console log stop collector. And then I'll just simply do let's see, we want to delete the message. So that's Q embed over here. So I'll do await Q embed delete. No timeout. Okay, so you obviously need to make sure that your bot has permissions to send embeds as well as delete messages. And we need to actually fix one thing. It's giving me an error. We have to add async over here. Let's select that. And let's just search the weekend. And let's just select 2 and 5. So, and then let's just do stop select. And let's do good. And then now if I do view queue, so now you can see we only have 2 songs over here, and I can delete that just like that. So perfect. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. I know there was a lot that happened, but just to kind of like do a quick recap, what we're doing, the main thing that you really have to understand is the generate queue embed function. This is responsible for giving us as many embeds as we need based on the amount of songs that are in the queue. So if there are, let's say, 65 songs in the queue, that means there's going to be 7 pages. If there are 100 songs in the queue, there are going to be 10 pages. If there are 101 songs in the queue, there's going to be 11 pages. Okay, so that's what this function takes care of down here. And then right over here, this collector, what we're doing here is we're just taking care of checking what the emoji is. And if they react with the right arrow, we're going to increment current page by 1. And we're going to update the message. We're going to edit the message and display the updated page as well as the next embed message. And that's the same thing for, the left arrow emoji. And if they don't react with either one of these, then they definitely react with the X emoji, because our filter takes care of the emoji. So they can't react with like other random emojis, and it will not trigger this collect event. So that's pretty much it for this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, just leave a comment down below or join my Discord server. The link is in the description. So I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.